Hello, my name is Claude, and I'm working on a project called Psychology at Work, my CFA project. And I'm going to analyze two videos. One is called Happiness for Lifetime by Sunja, and another one is called Success or Secret of Happiness or How to Be Happy by Brandon Brancher. So, on the video of Sonja, where she talked about how the happiness for a long time. So this woman referred to the proverb of Chinese, where she said that if you want a happiness for an hour, you take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a month, you get married. And if you want happiness for the long time, you just help somebody else. So you can't easily understand what she wanted to mean, but she wanted to mean that happiness is not only for a specific time or specific days, but it's needed for a long period of time. And the biggest secret of what you can do is to help somebody else, because in helping you can get many different things. Because when you are helping, you get more friends, you get connection, you increase community brand or reputation in the society. So that's why helping somebody else is very important. So she referred to the quote of George W. Bush, the 43rd president of the United States, when he was referring to how United States can cooperate with China. And the president said that the benefits of helping is beneficial, meaning that if you want to be beneficial, you initiate the idea of helping. You help your brother or your neighbor, then he or she will also help you. Then the collaboration is very close and needed, meaning that if you collaborate, if you help your friends, your neighbor, or somebody else, it's very crucial. She also talked about act of kindness that is needed in life. So to be happy, of course, if you are at the hospital, if you are in danger, if you have an accident, or if you are in different trouble that can harm your life or that can impede your life from progressing, of course, if somebody helps you, you become happy. That's why also doing act of kindness is included in one of the things that can make you happy or increase the happiness for a long time. The second video was talking about the secret of happiness by Brandon Branchard. This is one of the best. He's the best New York seller author in terms of producing motivational speech. Brandon talked about some of the secrets of being happy in life. That happiness, of course, is one of the most searched area for the long history of people or life in general. Because if you refer to philosophy or philosophers, psychologists also all talked about happiness, or they were referring to happiness, because it is physically gained and mentally and psychologically. Of course, you can, if for example you are happy, you will perform well in terms of a mindset, in terms of thinking. If you are happy also, you will perform in terms of physical appearance in society or in very different activities that we do in our daily life to be good. And some of the secrets, it was referring to how common sense as different as common practice. Most of the time what we think are different from what we do, meaning that sometimes what we do can be energizer of being mentally developed or mentally healthy. Like some of the secrets that he gave us advice that people should follow is like practice sports, like, because if you are physical fit, if you play basketball, football, or everything else, meaning that you are making your life healthy and it's gonna help everybody else at the network that you have. So meaning that doing sports or practicing physical activities is one of the best advice that we can follow. So the second one is eating health, like eating a food that you enjoy or you like. For example, we enjoy different food in a normal life. So if you drink what you like as a food is one of the secret, because if you like if you eat also healthy food, it will develop your body functioning well, which will also help you to remove out of stress. So the other thing is like spiritually, because doing sports is like physically, uh, mentally is like thinking that being optimistic, thinking that you will achieve something, because all starts in the head. Because if you understand that something will go on well in the future, that's how you are going to figure out or to behave, because we reflect on the past so as to be able to deal with the present and the future. So in the past, if you had done something wrong and reflect it in the present and we collect it easily, that's why we believe that in the future there will be also another step that can lead us to achievement. So if you work out, you play football, that's kind of physical activity that you can do. If you eat well, healthy, if you go to pray or to praise God, that is spiritual, because if you also believe that there's a God that can help you to go out of troubles or help you in their life. That's why if you go to church and praise God, dance, sing for Jesus or God, wherever you believe, that is also spiritual advice that Brandon gave in terms of dealing with all those issues. So another thing that you can talk about is scientific claims uh, that are related or that are contain this video. So when you analyze where there's two videos, the first one from Sunja, which was talking about the happiness for a long time or lifetime. So it live for the two opinions of people, not relating to scientific performance or acts. Like for example, people he quoted different proverbs from China and the quotes of President of the United States, but all those are opinions of people, how people think, but those people are not related to scientific actions. But from the other video uh, that was from Brandon, whether he said that he related what social life or what people normally say social life and related to psychology and philosophy, because psychology and philosophy are the part of science, and he revealed how being happy also is philosophy and psychology can deal or can be related to it, because if he's giving advice of eating and practice sports and thinking optimistically, that's all about psychology or mindset. So that's all about, there's a link between those two things and science. That's why the second video of Brandon, Secret of Being of Happiness, is more realistic than the other one, because the first one was only related to people's opinion on how people can act in social life to create more friends and get more different connection in society. So the other thing I think I can talk about is the time when I was able to cope with stress. I remember it was at workplace and we were at the end of the month and we were supposed to make the general recap report of what we did for the whole month. And I was in charge of making budget and also making other transactions, showing other transactions that have been done for the whole month. And I was overloaded because one of my parents was at the hospital and uh, I was not feeling well. I was thinking about how she's at the hospital and I was able and I was supposed to go to hospital to see her, and but also I had a task at school. I had a task that I was supposed to accomplish. So combining all those tasks was very difficult. But I thought optimistic. I thought I gave myself self-confidence that things will go wrong. We know to go along. So that's why I make schedule of how I'm going to perform all those activities. Um, After completing the budget and reported to the high leaders, I went to the hospital and visited my mother and see how she's feeling. And I also went back to school to accomplish tasks. And after that, after completing those tasks, I was so overloaded and I couldn't even greet somebody because my mind was not there. So, but one of my friends approached me and told me that you can do sports. You can go to the gym or jogging. So that's, I think those programs might be reduced. So I went to the gym with him and we learned practice of learning. And after sports, I went to bathroom and I came back. I was like, wow, wow, all things well in the light way. I was no longer thinking about many different tasks that I had to accomplish. I was very relaxed and stable. So that's why sports helped me in that time. So, but on the other hand, there is a time that I was not able to cope with stress. This is where I had different tasks in a class, because we had normally we have benchmark assessment that we do every 3 months, and I was like I had different tasks because I had also different tasks to complete for internship, and combining with benchmark was also a problem because at internship I was supposed to conduct like like doing interview exam, like I was going to be interviewed and you see if I can pass or not. So I was in need of man of course for that internship because and skills. So that's why I decided to let benchmark and go for interview. But in the end, I failed very much in the benchmark, and the results were very bad. So I was so stressed. Though I did other thing, I asked my and I was like desperate, and I went to bed and I took like 2 days without going out of bed. I was so disappointed and I was not happy in general, and it affected my results in terms of academic and everything. That's why that's why I think I was not able to cope with that stress because it affected me and took 2 days for coming back to school. So that's what I had to talk about in this presentation. Thank you so very much. God bless you.